What you're about to hear may shake you, may take the wind from your lungs and stop time for just a moment. But you must understand, this isn't a coincidence. You didn't stumble across this message. You didn't just happen to be here. No. This moment was orchestrated by something far greater than chance. God's hand brought you here, and not for entertainment or curiosity, but because a transformation is unfolding in your life that you can no longer ignore. You are stepping into something different now, something sacred. You are shifting from wanting to having. Those prayers you whispered into the silence, the ones soaked in tears and longing, those dreams you held in secret, the ones that seemed distant, unreachable, wrapped in a fog of impossibility. They are not lingering wishes anymore. They are drawing near, reaching across the divide between your hope and your reality, moving from imagination into manifestation. This shift is not a simple change of attitude. It is not a motivational slogan or a quick fix affirmation. No, it is something deeper, something ancient and divine. It is a spiritual and energetic recalibration. It's the sound of heaven rearranging things in your favor. As one of God's chosen ones, you are now entering a phase of acceleration, where events, people, and circumstances will begin to align with a grace and speed that defy logic. You are being carried by a current that flows directly from the throne of God. But here's what you must understand. This divine shift doesn't happen passively. You must be aware of how it works. You must engage it, align with it, and participate in it with your full heart and soul. The blessings prepared for you are real, but they require your readiness. They demand that you step into your authority, embrace your identity, and live with intention. You are not here to beg for scraps. You are here to claim the inheritance of the chosen. Now take a moment, breathe. Before we continue, I want you to do something symbolic, something prophetic. Press the like button, subscribe, and comment with the number 77. This is not for vanity or algorithm. This is a spiritual act. The number 77 carries deep meaning, completion, divine perfection, a signal to the heavens that you are not only hearing this message, but responding to it. It is your way of saying, I am ready, I am open, I receive. Think back to Joshua and the walls of Jericho. Those walls didn't fall because of brute strength. They fell because the people moved in alignment. They marched with unity. They blew their trumpets and shouted in obedience. Their victory was preceded by their faith in action. Your comment, your symbolic gesture, is your trumpet blast. It is your moment to say, I will not sit back. I will not dismiss this. I believe God is speaking, and I am listening. If you are truly among the chosen, you'll feel something rising inside of you as you listen. You'll feel a resonance, a pull, a stirring that says, this is for me. And if not, you may click away, distracted or disinterested, because your heart is not yet ready for this truth. So choose now. Will you lean in? Will you receive? Will you stay and let this revelation wash over you? Because those who stay, those who take this message seriously, those who feel its weight and refuse to let it pass them by, they will see their lives change. Not subtly, not someday, but soon, in ways they never imagined possible. Now we enter the first layer of this divine unfolding, the power of desire. Desire is not a shallow craving or a fleeting whim. It is not just a wish whispered in boredom. No, true desire is sacred. It is spiritual. It is the awareness of a gap, a divine space between who you are now and who you are called to be, between what your hands hold and what your spirit knows is meant for you. This gap is not empty. It is pregnant with potential. It is alive with possibility. It is the place where heaven and earth meet in waiting. Desire means you have seen a glimpse of your destiny. It means something within you recognizes that you were made for more love, more meaning, more purpose. It is a quiet flame inside you that refuses to go out. Even when life disappoints, even when time delays, even when others mock or doubt, it stays lit. That is not weakness. That is not selfishness. That is God's fingerprint. Consider Hannah from the book of 1 Samuel. Her desire for a child was so deep, so desperate, that it drove her to the temple. There she wept. There she prayed. There she made a vow to God so powerful that the priest thought she was drunk. But she wasn't. She was determined. Her desire wasn't just personal, it was prophetic. It pulled her into covenant with God. And in time, she gave birth to Samuel, a prophet whose life shaped the destiny of a nation. Her longing, her aching, her refusal to give up, These were not flaws. They were the very tools God used to write history. Now look at your own life. What have you been aching for? What have you prayed for when no one else was listening? What dream keeps visiting you in the quiet moments, refusing to die, even after all these years? That is not random. That is not a mistake. That is the voice of God echoing through your desire. Could it be that your frustration is actually divine? That your longing is not a sign of failure, but a signal of calling? Could it be that your unfulfilled dreams are pulling you toward your purpose? Desire is not meant to torment you. It is meant to propel you. It's the spark that ignites faith, the hunger that leads to action, the yearning that draws you closer to God's voice. Without it, there is no motion. Without it, there is no transformation. Without it, there is no journey. So stop seeing your desire as a burden. Start seeing it as your blueprint. Every hope, every goal, every whispered prayer, they are seeds, and God is the gardener. The moment your soul formed a desire, heaven began to take notice. The soil of your life started shifting. The spiritual realm leaned in. The process began. So what will you do with that seed? Will you nurture it with faith? Will you water it with action? Will you protect it with obedience? Or will you let it wither in the shadow of fear? You are chosen, and chosen ones do not live by chance. They live by calling. Your desire is part of that calling. Let it lead you. Let it stretch you. Let it become the bridge between your current reality and your divine destiny. This is only the beginning. However, here's where many find themselves stuck. Despite the prayers, the dreams, and the deep soul-stirring longing, they remain trapped in a place of yearning. It's not for lack of sincerity. They want with all their heart. They pray with urgency. They hope with tears in their eyes. But somehow the fulfillment never seems to arrive. And so they linger in that in-between space where desire burns bright but seems to flicker just short of becoming reality. Why does this happen? Why do some stay suspended in longing while others move into receiving? The answer often lies not in the strength of the desire but in the way we approach it. Wanting, when not transfigured by faith, can become a quiet prison. Every time we whisper, "I want this" or "I need that," we unknowingly proclaim that we are lacking. We declare to the heavens that what we seek is still far away, just out of reach. In doing so, we focus on the absence, the void, the empty place that hasn't yet been filled. And the more we speak of it, the more that emptiness echoes back. Yet Scripture offers us a deeper wisdom. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 8, we are reminded that our Father already knows what we need before we ask. This is no casual reassurance. It is a call to faith. A nudge to stop living from the posture of lack and start living from the assurance that we are already seen, already heard, already held in divine knowing. When we focus only on what we don't have, we lose sight of the sacred truth that God is not distant from our desires. We begin to act as if we're alone in the waiting, rather than walking with the one who weaves the very fabric of fulfillment. Imagine what would happen if, instead of praying from the ache of distance, we prayed from the confidence of arrival. Imagine approaching God not with the tension of, "When will it come?" but with the peace of, "Thank you, sir, it's already unfolding." Jesus offered us a powerful key in Mark chapter 11, verse 24. "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." That's not wishful thinking. It's a radical shift of identity, a transformation of mindset. Desire, when rooted in this kind of faith, stops being a cry for help and becomes an act of trust. It's no longer about begging for blessings. It becomes about making space to receive what's already making its way to you. Could it be that the very act of wanting, if held too tightly, becomes the barrier to receiving? Is it possible that clinging too hard to our desires actually slows their arrival? There's a sacred invitation in all of this, to move from wanting to trusting, from hoping to welcoming. What if the missing step wasn't more asking, but deeper believing? What if the shift you need is not in your circumstances, but in your posture? You were never meant to live in the wilderness of unfulfilled desire. You were not created to circle endlessly around prayers that never land. You were chosen for more. You were called to rise above the cycle of perpetual longing and step into the truth that you are a co-creator with God, that you hold the power to participate in the unfolding of your own blessings. Desire is only the beginning. It's the spark, not the destination. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop looking at your dreams as something far away and begin to see them as something within reach. You no longer stand at the edge of hope, you step fully into it. Remaining in a state of wanting places you in a posture of waiting for life to happen to you. But stepping into your identity as a co-creator with God means aligning yourself with the belief that life is already responding to your faith. It's not about chasing what you want. It's about living in such a way that you welcome it. This transformation is not passive. It is bold. It is the choice to believe when the evidence isn't yet visible. It's the decision to act as if the breakthrough has already begun. Scripture gives us a striking image of this kind of faith in the story of the prophet Elijah. During a devastating drought, Elijah prayed for rain, but he didn't stop there. He sent his servant again and again to look toward the sea, not once but 7 times. He didn't waver. He didn't delay. He acted in full confidence that what God had promised would arrive. 1 Kings chapter 18 verses 41 to 45 paints this moment with clarity. Elijah's faith didn't merely hope for rain, it prepared for it. He lived in anticipation, not hesitation. What if God is calling you to do the same? To stop watching the sky in despair and start preparing the ground in faith? What if the very act of preparing signals that you're ready to receive? Consider how your life would shift if you moved from longing to expectation. If you thanked God not just for what He has done, but for what is already on its way. This is the place where desire becomes reality. When you stop identifying with the absence and start embracing the presence of what you desire, something profound happens within you. You begin to carry yourself differently. You walk, speak, and pray from a place of fulfillment rather than lack. This change isn't just mental, it's energetic. It reorients your entire being. You move through life as though what you once longed for is now part of your reality. That's the magnetism of true belief. That's the shift that opens doors no man can close. Faith, then, is not a fragile hope that maybe one day things will change. It is the unshakable foundation that what you seek is already being prepared. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 tells us that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the bridge between the invisible and the manifest. When you live from that place, your words change. Your inner dialogue shifts. No longer are you saying, "I want." Instead, you declare, "I have." And that declaration doesn't just comfort you, it brings heaven closer. This is the divine alignment that draws blessings like a magnet. It accelerates the unfolding of your dreams. It lifts you from the low ground of longing to the high ground of fulfillment. Think again of Abraham. God told him he would be the father of many nations at a time when he had no child and his body was aging. The promise defied logic, but Abraham's faith didn't falter. He lived as though the promise was already true. Romans chapter 4 verse 17 says that God calls into being things that were not. And Abraham, aligned with that creative power, collapsed the distance between the promise and its fulfillment. He wasn't just a man who hoped, he became a man who received. Could this be the key for you too? Is the final step not more effort, but more trust? Could the door to your next season open the moment you decide to live as if it already has? Let that possibility sink in. Let it become real to you. Because once you understand that you are not waiting alone, but walking with the one who makes all things new, you'll stop longing for signs and start living from the assurance that everything is already in motion. Your blessing is not far away. It's on its way. And your faith is what makes room for it to arrive. Imagine waking up, not with questions, but with certainty. The air feels different. Your breath is deeper, your steps more grounded. There's a peace in your chest that cannot be shaken, a quiet joy that radiates from within. You're no longer searching, no longer pleading with the heavens or scanning the horizon for a sign. Instead, you walk as if the promise has already arrived, because in your heart it has. This is the power of living in the frequency of having. Not waiting, not wishing, not wondering why things haven't yet unfolded, but knowing with absolute confidence that they are unfolding exactly as they should. This shift in perspective changes everything. Where once you begged the universe with questions like, "When will it happen?" or "Why hasn't it happened yet?" Now you smile, recognizing that it is happening. Every moment, seen or unseen, moves you closer, and that is enough. Chosen ones understand this. Your energy is a broadcast. The universe listens not to your words, but to your vibration. If you are sending out signals of lack, of desperation, of emptiness, then that is the echo that returns to you. But the very instant, you align with the energy of already having, the whole landscape of your life begins to shift. The signs start to multiply, the right people appear, the opportunities that once seemed locked behind impenetrable doors are suddenly within reach. What was once delayed now flows freely, effortlessly, as if the resistance simply dissolved. And in truth it did. Because you released it. You let go of needing and chose knowing. You chose to believe it was yours. But here's the sacred key that unlocks it all. You must believe before you see. You must feel rich while your bank account is still low. You must speak healing when the pain is still there. You must carry the vibration of joy even when the tears haven't yet dried. This is not delusion. This is alignment with spiritual truth. Just because your physical eyes have not yet seen it doesn't mean it isn't real. The invisible work is often the most powerful. Behind the scenes, threads are being woven that your current vision cannot comprehend. Conversations you'll never hear, decisions made in rooms you've never entered, delays that serve as divine setups. The universe is orchestrating all of it, and your only task is to hold the vibration. Stay in the energy of already having. Speak with certainty, act with conviction, feel with gratitude. Imagine walking through your day already feeling the way you would if everything you wanted had arrived. The relationship, the healing, the financial freedom, the peace of mind. What if you started to thank God not for what's coming, but for what's already done? This is not hope. It's not wishful thinking. It's divine authority. It's co-creation. It's partnership with a God who calls things that are not as though they are. When you operate from this truth, you don't chase, you attract. You don't strive, you align. So the next time desire arises in your heart, stop and remember, you are not lacking. You are not waiting. You are claiming. You are stepping into your rightful place as a co-creator with God, calling what already exists in the spiritual realm into your lived experience. This is the shift. This is the transformation. And it's not a surface-level change. It's not just thinking positive thoughts or slapping affirmations over doubt. This is deeper. It's a rewiring, a complete transformation of how you see the world, how you interpret time, how you relate to your own desires. When you're in a state of wanting, you're essentially telling the universe that something essential is missing. Every time you think or say, I want or I need, you declare that your life is incomplete. That gap creates resistance. It signals to everything around you that your fulfillment still lies outside of you. And so the universe responds accordingly, by reflecting back the distance you believe exists between you and your desires. Think about the Israelites wandering in the wilderness. Each complaint about what they lacked only brought more hardship. But when they shifted into trust, into gratitude for God's provision, miracles began to pour out. Water sprang from dry rocks. Manna fell from the heavens. The same shift is available to you. What if your perspective is the very thing blocking the blessings already prepared for you? When you begin to live as though you have, you speak a new language. Your prayers shift from desperation to celebration. You begin to live in expectancy. You walk into rooms with the energy of it's already mine. And the universe listens to that. It responds to the gratitude in your tone, the peace in your posture, the certainty in your step. This is the invitation to walk in the energy of already having. Jesus said in Mark chapter 11, verse 24, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Not believe you will receive. Believe you have received. That's a different posture. That's not future tense. That's now. That's presence. That's ownership. So what would happen if you lived every day with that kind of belief? If you woke up and said, "Thank you for the love that surrounds me," even before the partner appears. Or "Thank you for the abundance in my life," even before the check clears. What if you felt peace not because everything was in place, but because you trusted it already is? To make this shift, you must become radically aware of your thoughts. Notice how often your inner dialogue reflects lack, and when it does, stop. Reframe it. Turn "I wish I had" into "I'm grateful this is already mine." Speak it, even if your circumstances haven't caught up yet, because your words shape your reality. And your energy builds the bridge between your present and your promise. This isn't pretending. It's not faking it. It's alignment with spiritual truth. Your desires exist. They are already formed in the unseen realm. They are looking for a landing place, and that place is your faith, your energy, your vibration. Gratitude is the magnet. When you focus on what's already abundant in your life, your breath, your vision, your ability to dream, you invite more to be grateful for. Gratitude dissolves the illusion of lack and raises your vibration to meet the frequency of your desires. It is the fuel of manifestation. Visualize yourself already there. Close your eyes and see it. The home, the healed body, the restored relationship, the successful business. Feel it in your bones. Smile like it's happening now. Speak with the confidence of someone who has already arrived. Because in the realm of spirit, you have. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined. When you show it what's possible and affirm it with feeling, your outer world begins to conform. The universe will have no choice but to respond to the truth you are embodying. You are not waiting for life to happen to you. You are not meant to beg or plead for scraps of joy. You are here to create, to align, to command with love and faith and confidence. This is your time to rise, not someday, now. If you want to unlock the life you've been envisioning, it's not enough to simply wish for it. You must begin to act, speak, and carry yourself as though it already belongs to you. This isn't about recklessness. It's not about draining your savings on symbols of success or plunging headfirst into impulsive decisions. What it truly means is stepping into the version of yourself who already lives the life you dream of. Ask yourself, if financial abundance were already your reality, how would your posture change? Would you walk with more confidence, speak with more assurance? If the loving relationship you've longed for had already blossomed in your life, how would you treat yourself? How would you treat others? This isn't just role-playing. It's energetic alignment. It's a declaration that you are no longer chasing something outside of yourself. You are choosing to live from the end, to embody the result before it appears. Those who walk a path of deep spiritual awareness understand that this transformation is not forced. It's not about pushing or demanding. It's about allowing. When you stop striving from a place of lack and start living from a place of abundance, your desires no longer feel distant. They begin to orbit closer. Your energy draws them in. This is the shift from wanting to having a subtle yet powerful pivot in consciousness that changes everything. Manifestation doesn't require endless striving. It asks for alignment. When you are energetically aligned with what you seek, you no longer need to hustle to make it happen. You become a magnet. It's not magic, it's spiritual law in motion. But what makes this all work, what threads it together, is something even more challenging than mindset. It's timing. Once you start living as though your desires are already yours, you're bound to confront a deeper truth. Not everything will arrive when you expect it. This is where divine timing enters, and it's where many falter. Trusting divine timing is perhaps the greatest test of faith on the path to manifestation. It's the art of surrendering control over the when and allowing the universe, or God, to orchestrate the unfolding. It's understanding that your timeline is not necessarily the highest timeline. There's something bigger at play, something far beyond your immediate perspective. The phrase "trust the process" may feel cliché, but it holds deep truth. What you desire may already exist in the spiritual realm, waiting for the right sequence of events in the physical world. It's not about delay. It's about orchestration. Every connection, every lesson, every divine detour is part of a sacred design working on your behalf. Consider the words from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. This is not poetic fluff, it's a spiritual principle. God's timing is not random, it's deliberate. Each season serves a purpose, even if you don't yet understand it. When you're stuck in the mindset of wanting, it often comes with urgency, impatience, and frustration. You may find yourself constantly looking for signs, checking timelines, doubting whether your desires will ever appear. These thoughts aren't just harmless worries. They signal to the universe that you are still in lack. that you're still uncertain. James chapter 1 verses 6 to 8 warns that doubt makes us like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That instability can interfere with the very blessings that are on their way to you. Could it be that your impatience is simply an invitation to trust more deeply, to surrender more fully? When you affirm, "I know it's already done," you're not just repeating a spiritual cliche, you're anchoring yourself in divine truth. You're removing the pressure to make it happen and replacing it with faith that it's already unfolding. And imagine the peace that would flood your life if you truly trusted this. How differently would your days feel if you believed, beyond any doubt, that God's timing is perfect, never late, never early, always aligned with your highest good. Sometimes things don't appear right away because you're not quite ready. Or perhaps the conditions around you are still being aligned. There are conversations you haven't had yet, people you haven't met, lessons you haven't integrated. In these gaps, trust must grow. Delays are not denials. They are divine pauses. They're signals that something better, something wiser and more fitting, is being prepared for you. So instead of spiraling into discouragement when things don't show up on your preferred schedule, take a breath. Use the waiting as a sacred space to nurture your faith, refine your vision, and strengthen your gratitude. Live in the energy of already having, even in the waiting. Celebrate the small shifts. Recognize the synchronicities that guide you. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that you are on the right path. Stay rooted in gratitude and grounded in abundance. The more you trust, the more the universe aligns to meet you where you are. Chosen ones know, divine timing is flawless. It's never about forcing your will. It's about surrendering to God's will. And when you do that, when you stop grasping and start receiving, you'll discover that what comes to you is not only exactly what you need, it often exceeds what you imagined. Now let's look deeper into what makes all of this possible. One single thread runs through every teaching, every practice, every manifestation. That thread is faith. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to manifest effortlessly while others struggle for years, the answer is almost always faith. Faith is not wishful thinking. It's not a weak hope. It's a bold, unwavering belief in what is unseen. It is the engine behind every successful manifestation, the foundation upon which dreams are built. Faith is not fragile. It does not ask for proof. It does not demand signs. It simply knows. It knows your desires are already on their way. It holds steady even when circumstances scream otherwise. This is the kind of faith that moves mountains. This is the kind of faith that magnetizes blessings. When you truly believe in the outcome, without needing to see immediate evidence, you elevate your energy. You hold the vibration of having rather than wanting. And that is where manifestation takes root, not in longing, not in pleading, but in believing. Without faith, even the most powerful desires get tangled in doubt. You start to wonder, is it possible? Am I worthy? Will this ever happen? These thoughts may seem harmless, but they fracture your alignment. One moment you say, I want this, and the next you whisper, but what if it doesn't happen? That contradiction sends mixed signals into the spiritual realm, slowing the momentum of your desires. Faith requires consistency, a daily choice to believe in what your eyes cannot yet see, a quiet resolve that says, even now, even here, I trust. That trust is the bridge between where you are and where you're going. So if you find yourself doubting, come back to the core. Rebuild your faith, strengthen it with gratitude, anchor it in truth, and declare again, it is already done. Because when faith becomes your foundation, the impossible becomes inevitable. However, when you step fully into the mindset where your faith becomes a powerful, unbreakable force, everything changes. This faith is not just a fleeting hope or wish. It is a deep, unwavering conviction that what you desire is already yours, no matter what the current circumstances look like or how things appear on the outside. This is the very kind of faith that Jesus spoke about in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 17, verse 20, when he said that even faith as small as a mustard seed holds incredible power. He explained that with such faith you can command a mountain to move from one place to another, and it will obey you. Imagine that. A tiny seed of belief unleashing unstoppable momentum that pulls your desires closer, like a magnet drawing metal. This unshakable certainty does more than just inspire hope. It creates a force that nothing can block. Could it be that this extraordinary level of faith is exactly what unlocks the life God has meticulously planned for you? Picture the possibilities if you nurtured this unshakable faith every single day. What would your experience look like if you genuinely believed, without a shadow of doubt, that what you are seeking is not only possible, but is already on its way to you? When you embrace this kind of faith, you become a powerful co-creator with the divine, setting the perfect stage for miracles to unfold naturally in your life. Faith, however, is not a passive state. It demands patience, but it also demands action. You cannot simply sit back and wait for your desires to appear out of thin air. Instead, you must take inspired steps that align with the faith you hold in your heart. Sometimes this means stepping boldly beyond your comfort zone, making decisions that feel risky but are guided by your intuition. Other times it requires trusting your inner voice even when logic fails to explain why. As the Bible teaches, faith without works is dead. Your actions must reflect the belief that what you desire is already on its way. Chosen ones, living by faith means you are not passively waiting for your dreams to manifest. You are actively participating in their arrival. You send a clear signal to the universe, showing that you are ready to receive. This readiness is when the universe begins to shift in your favor. Faith is the key that unlocks the door to having everything you want. And now that you understand its power, it's time to explore the next step in this journey, moving from wanting to having by aligning with the frequency of abundance. Let's dive into what it means to align with the frequency of abundance. At the very core of the universe lies energy, an invisible, powerful force that shapes everything around us. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every belief you hold carries a unique energetic frequency. This frequency plays a crucial role in determining the experiences that show up in your life. When you exist in a state of wanting, your energy vibrates at a frequency that resonates with lack. This means that whether you realize it or not, you are broadcasting a signal that says, "I do not have what I want," and the universe responds by reflecting that reality back to you. But when you shift your energy to the frequency of having, everything changes. Instead of focusing on what is missing, you attune yourself to the feeling that your desires have already been fulfilled. This shift to abundance acts like a catalyst, accelerating the manifestation of blessings and allowing them to flow into your life with far less resistance. Jesus taught this principle in Mark chapter 11, verse 24, highlighting the power of faith and gratitude. He emphasized the importance of believing that you have already received what you seek. This belief aligns you directly with the energy of abundance, drawing even more of your desires into your life. Imagine the difference in outcomes if, instead of asking, "Why don't I have this yet?" you replace that question with the affirmation, "Thank you, God, for this blessing." Aligning with abundance means you are no longer just hoping or wishing. You are embodying the feeling of already having what you desire. This subtle but profound shift changes everything. The universe responds to the energy you project, and when you resonate with abundance, it feels as if doors to blessings suddenly swing wide open, inviting prosperity, love, and fulfillment to flow freely into your life. Now consider this. What if right now, at this very moment, you could fully embody the feeling of already possessing what you want? How would your energy change? How would the flow of blessings around you transform? When you embrace the frequency of abundance, you open the way for even greater blessings to come to you naturally and effortlessly. So how exactly do you align with the frequency of abundance? It begins with your emotions. One of the most effective ways to change your energy is to cultivate feelings of gratitude, joy, and contentment. When you feel truly grateful for what you already have, you send a powerful message to the universe that says, "I am abundant." This vibration attracts more reasons to feel grateful, even if you haven't yet manifested all your desires. Start by noticing the small, beautiful moments around you, the warmth of a sunset, the love of a close friend or family member, or the peaceful quiet of an early morning. When you focus your attention on these moments of joy and abundance, you naturally raise your energy, and the universe takes notice. Another key aspect of aligning with abundance is the language you use about your desires. When you are stuck in a state of wanting, your words often reflect that lack. You might say things like, "I need more money," or "I wish I had a better job." But as you shift into the state of having, your language transforms. You begin to affirm that what you desire is already on its way to you, speaking from a place of certainty and trust. By living and speaking from this frequency, you not only change your energy, but invite the universe to deliver on your deepest desires. This is the power of faith and alignment, a force that moves mountains, opens doors, and transforms your life beyond anything you might have imagined. Instead of saying, "I need more," you say, "I am grateful for the financial blessings that are flowing into my life." This simple shift in language carries incredible power because every word you speak vibrates with energy, and the words you choose create the reality you experience. When you replace want with gratitude, you are no longer focused on lack, but on abundance already present, opening the door for more to come. Visualization is another essential practice that aligns your energy with the reality you desire. Spend time each day imagining yourself living fully in the life you want. Picture yourself in the home of your dreams, driving the car you've always wished for, or wrapped in the love and peace you have been longing to feel. But do not stop at just seeing it. Feel it deeply. The true power of visualization lies in the emotion behind the image. When you can genuinely experience joy, excitement, and gratitude for what you have already received, you send a strong message to the universe, as if to say, "This is my reality now." At the same time, it is crucial to release any feelings of doubt, fear, or unworthiness that may block your alignment with abundance. These lower vibrational emotions create resistance, which slows down or even halts the flow of your manifestations. When those feelings creep in, acknowledge them without judgment, but do not linger there. Remind yourself that you are worthy of all the abundance the universe wants to give you. You are chosen, and abundance is your birthright. As you tune your energy to this frequency, you will begin to notice shifts around you. Opportunities will appear, doors will open, and things once thought out of reach will manifest with ease. This is the incredible power of embodying the energy of having. It speeds up manifestation and attracts what you desire more quickly and naturally. Remember, chosen ones, that moving from wanting to having is not just about receiving material gifts. It is about becoming the embodiment of abundance in every part of your life. When you live this way, you attract not only wealth, but also peace, joy, and deep fulfillment. This is the true essence of abundance. As you walk this path, there is one often overlooked but vital step: releasing resistance. While it is important to align with the energy of having, it is equally crucial to surrender any resistance that blocks your desires from flowing freely. Resistance can appear as doubt, fear, impatience, or the urge to control exactly how and when your dreams will come true. To fully welcome abundance, you must learn to let go and trust in divine timing. Surrender does not mean giving up on your dreams. It means releasing the need to control every detail of how they will manifest. Resistance builds tension in your heart and mind and often becomes the very barrier preventing blessings from entering your life. Consider the story of Sarah, Abraham's wife, who, in her impatience to see God's promise fulfilled, took matters into her own hands by urging Abraham to have a child with Hagar. This attempt to force the timing of God's promise introduced discord and unintended consequences. Resistance and impatience can lead us down a similar path. In contrast, surrender allows divine timing to work in your favor. When you release your grip on the details and trust that a higher wisdom is orchestrating your blessings, you open the door to outcomes far better than you could imagine. Imagine the peace and ease that would fill your life if you let go of the need to control every step, trusting that everything is unfolding perfectly. Jesus taught in Matthew 6, verse 34, not to worry about tomorrow, because each day has enough trouble of its own. Surrender is a profound act of faith that invites the universe to bring your desires in the most perfect and divine way. Could your own resistance be the very thing holding back your blessings? How might your life transform if you chose to trust the timing and manner of your desires' arrival, knowing they are guided by a wisdom greater than your own? Embrace surrender as a gateway for grace to flow into your life, bringing blessings in ways you could never have imagined. The act of surrender requires faith, the belief that the universe knows what is best and that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This can be difficult, especially when you have waited a long time or feel like nothing is happening quickly enough. Yet, chosen ones, divine timing is always perfect. Just because you cannot yet see the results does not mean they are not on their way. Keep your heart open, your faith strong, and your spirit aligned with abundance. The blessings you seek are coming to you in the right time and the right way. One of the most powerful pathways to embracing true surrender unfolds through the gentle yet profound practices of meditation and mindfulness. When you immerse yourself in meditation, the restless chatter of the mind gradually softens and fades, opening a sacred space where you can connect deeply with your higher self. In this serene state of peace and stillness, the burdens that weigh heavy on your spirit, worries, doubts, fears, begin to dissolve. These are the very chains that often hold you back, preventing you from fully stepping into your potential. But here, in this quiet sanctuary within, you learn to release those fears with a sense of trust and faith, handing over your desires to the vast universe without clinging to how or when they will come to fruition. This act of surrender is not about giving up control in despair, but about letting go of the need to control the outcome. It is a delicate dance between hope and detachment. Detachment, often misunderstood, does not mean you cease caring about your dreams or ambitions. Rather, it is the freeing of your emotional grip on the outcome, releasing yourself from the anxiety and resistance that attachment creates. When you are emotionally bound to your desires, fear tends to grow, the fear of disappointment, failure, or loss. But through detachment, you step beyond this fear. You come to know deep in your soul that whether your dreams manifest exactly as you envision or take on a form you had not imagined, you will be okay. This profound detachment becomes a gateway to peace and trust, enabling your manifestations to flow more effortlessly. Surrendering also means opening your heart and mind to receive blessings in unexpected ways. The universe's answers are rarely scripted and often arrive disguised in forms we might not immediately recognize or expect. If you are rigidly attached to a specific outcome, you risk overlooking greater gifts or alternative paths designed for your highest good. By releasing resistance and embracing surrender, you invite the universe to deliver what is truly aligned with your soul's journey, even if it looks different from your original vision. This surrender unlocks a realm beyond imagination, a place where miracles unfold naturally as you align with the energy of receiving. Living in this state of surrender naturally flows into the experience of living in the state of having. This shift from wanting to having is not merely a mental trick, but a profound spiritual transformation. It is the full embodiment of your divine power, moving through life with the unwavering certainty that everything you desire is already yours on a spiritual level. This state frees you from the endless pursuit of external validation or proof, revealing that true abundance begins from within. The very presence of your desires serves as a divine signal that they are already en route to manifesting in your life. You may wonder, how can I live in the state of having when I still see lack around me? This is where your spiritual strength reveals itself. Living in the state of having does not mean ignoring the current reality or pretending challenges do not exist. Instead, it is about transcending those conditions, recognizing that while some blessings have yet to appear physically, they exist in the spiritual realm, patiently waiting for their perfect time to arrive. Your identity is no longer defined by circumstances or external markers, but by your intimate connection to the infinite source of abundance itself. As co-creators alongside the divine, you do not passively wait for blessings. You actively create them through your aligned energy and clear intention. This way of living brings a deep sense of peace, faith, and unwavering trust. You are no longer chasing after desires with desperation or impatience. Instead, you become a vessel of receptive flow, open and ready to receive all that aligns with your highest purpose. This transformation reshapes your energy into a powerful magnet, naturally attracting opportunities, relationships, and resources that support your journey with ease. Your goals shift in meaning too. They no longer arise from a need to fill emptiness, but from a place of divine expansion, reflecting the abundant fullness already present within you. You are not seeking to become complete. You are expanding the wholeness that already defines your being. Consider the wisdom of Romans 8 verse 28, which reminds us that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. Every delay, every setback, and every challenge is imbued with divine purpose. Instead of viewing obstacles as dead ends, see them as vital milestones in your path toward even greater blessings. What if each delay was not a failure, but a setup for something far beyond what you could imagine? Trusting divine timing and relinquishing control over the how and when of your desires allow you to live free from impatience and anxiety. Instead, you cultivate a deep inner assurance that everything unfolds perfectly for your highest good. To live in the state of having is to embrace your worthiness fully and to know that your desires are not distant dreams but realities already connected to your spirit. This state also radiates outward to your relationships with others. You move beyond competition or comparison and instead celebrate the success of those around you, understanding that abundance is infinite and not diminished by anyone else's joy or achievement. Living in this expansive, vibrant state rooted in love transforms your life. Obstacles become opportunities, and change is welcomed as a necessary step closer to your divine destiny. Making this way of being a daily practice, aligning with abundance, trusting the journey, embracing your divine power as a co-creator, and grounding yourself in gratitude opens a flow of blessings that come effortlessly. Over time, the evidence of this transformation becomes undeniable. Life moves with greater ease, synchronicities multiply, and you find yourself in the right places, meeting the right people, receiving precisely what you need. This is the magic of living in abundance, a ripple effect that touches every corner of your existence. As you embrace this divine power, your connection to your higher self deepens. Your intuition sharpens, offering clear guidance that quiets doubt and fuels confident, purposeful movement forward. You are no longer alone on your path, but guided by a higher power that supports every step. Ultimately, living in the state of having is an expression of your true nature as a divine being. You were not born to struggle or live in scarcity. You were created to thrive, expand, and savor the fullness of life. As you step into your role as a powerful co-creator capable of manifesting any desire, you begin to see the vast abundance that already surrounds you. Your time is now. Embrace your divine power fully. Trust the journey that unfolds before you. Know with unwavering certainty that everything you desire is already within your reach. Release the frantic chase, the struggle, and open your heart wide. Trust divine timing and allow the blessings to flow freely and abundantly. This is the ultimate spiritual shift, a journey of faith, surrender, and divine alignment. As you continue to live in this truth, the universe stands ready to shower you with blessings beyond measure. Remember that you are already abundant, already worthy, and already whole. Stand firmly in this truth and watch as the universe responds to your divine energy. The shift is underway. Blessings are on their way. Receive them with gratitude, chosen ones.